Hi. I just wanted to share something with you that God shared in my spirit the other day. He brought to revelation, rather. So it's a little bit of a story time and a revelation, like I said. And so, if you are in university or went through college or university, whether in the Caribbean, wherever it is, you may be familiar with the work and travel program. It's a cultural exchange program, and you get placed in departments or fields that either have something to do with what you're studying or not. Because, like I said, it's a cultural exchange program, and so even if you're studying to become a doctor, you may work in a restaurant or a store. Myself, I worked in a restaurant in 2019, and while I was there, I'd been going to that restaurant for multiple years, and so I had become a line cook. And on the line, you have different stations. You have salads and sandwiches, which is one station. You have fry. You have the flat top. You have the grill, and you have the saute. And so I was the only girl on the line, and I was doing salad, sandwiches, and desserts. But of course, you are cross trained, and so because some days are slower than some, and so you don't need that many people to man every station, or some days are busy and you need to jump over to another station to offer assistance. And so I was cross trained on all of them, and there were times I would man my station, which is the salad, sandwiches, desserts, as well as the fry. All right, at the same time, and being the only person to do so. And so there was this girl who happened to work with me one night when it was really busy. So they paired us together on my station, right? And so I'm pushing out salads, sandwiches, desserts, like I said. And I have steps that I typically take that made life easier for me on a busy night because I've done busy nights. I'm always scheduled for busy nights and weekends and holidays because I know what to do. And even though I didn't think so, they thought I did it well. And so I was showing her, how to do these things when it's this busy. And we were just like struggling under all of the pressure and all the orders because she wouldn't listen to me. And while we were struggling, I was like, okay, let me take the lead and I'll go ahead and I'll do all of this. And so, say if I put something out in 2 minutes, typically, so it started coming out in like 3 minutes now, or 3.5 minutes, or 4 minutes, because I was doing a two-person's job myself. I was there just deep in what I'm doing and focus and still putting out beautiful food. She blurted out, I used to look up to you and I used to be like, I want to be like Nicola. I wanted to just be able to just produce food as quickly as you could on multiple stations. But it's not as easy as you make it look, and you're not actually as good as I thought you were. It's not as easy. It's not as easy and you're struggling. And I was like, what on earth? Like, where did this come from? I never knew that this girl thought about this thing in this way. And this is from years ago, right? Years ago. And God brought that back to me a couple days ago when I'm like, God, why do I need this memory? I didn't even know that I had this memory. What is happening? And He said to me, do you remember how you felt when she said that? And I was like, I thought about it for a second and then I realized I'd felt like a fake. I'd felt like I'd let this girl down, even though I did not even know she was looking up to me. And it was such a bad feeling. But God said, but did you see what you did? And I was like, I didn't do anything. I just kept working. He's like, yes, you held your head down and you just kept working. But you still had that feeling for a little bit. Now, though, I can't even remember what the girl looks like. And I couldn't pick her face out of a picture. And if I saw her face to face, unless she reminded me who she was, I couldn't remember her. But I remember that feeling so vividly just a couple of days ago. I was like, God, why is this important now? And He's like, I'm just showing you now that your feelings, they don't really matter because the enemy will use that against you. That is his biggest weapon, emotion. And the devil was lying to me. God said the devil was lying to you. You were not a fake. You just did what needed to be done, and people on the outside didn't really understand. But this is what happens whenever you just keep your head down and keep going. People will chastise you and criticize you for being a fake, even though you never once professed to be good at what you did. I never once thought that I was doing exceptionally well because if you knew me before, no, I never liked the kitchen. I would cut myself all the time. I I I would burn stuff. Like I just hated the kitchen, and so I never, no matter how many times people would commend me, the manager would commend me. I always thought I was doing subpar. Now in hindsight, I can say I did put out beautiful work, but at that time, I never once thought of myself more than I ought to. So when her words, were I was a fake and the enemy made me feel so bad, God is like, this is why emotions don't matter, because He will put those in your heart, and then out of your heart will pour all kind of negativities. It will be poured onto yourself, and you will then pour it onto others. You will speak ill over yourselves, and you will speak ill over others, because words and actions don't just fall out of the air onto your tongue and out of your mouth, or out of the air onto your body and out of your limbs. No, they come from your heart. As Proverbs 4:23 says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues, with an S, the issues of life spring from your heart. So you have to keep it with all diligence, protect it from the attacks of the enemy, which comes in emotions, whispers, little tickles here and there of negativity. Keep your heart with all diligence, protect it like the organ of delicacy as it is. Now that I'm living for God, He's like, so now that you are in me and you're living for me, when He puts those emotions and thoughts in your head and you start to just take them in, remember that greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. And the word of God in Psalms 92 says, verse 10, but my horn you have exalted like a wild ox. Horn means strength in the Bible, and it says, my strength then you have exalted like a wild ox. I've been anointed with fresh oil. My eye also has seen my desire on my enemies. My ears hear my desire on the wicked who rise up against me. And though she wasn't my enemy, the devil, which is my enemy, he used those he used those words, which is funny because God allowed me to hear the desire that He had for me to feel like a fake, to feel less than. And God is like, you weren't less than then, because I had a purpose for you. I know I don't work in the kitchen now, but I'm just telling you that in everything that you do, there are people looking up to you and looking at you. And though they may not understand the work that is being put in behind the door, because if they ever get behind that door and put in the same work, they will also chastise you for being a fake. Not knowing that you're not a fake and you're not faking it. You just keeping your head down and you keep pushing and doing what needs to be done. And because you're achieving what needs to be achieved, they then think, well, this is easy. It looks too good to be true. And when they find out the work that needs to be put in, they're like, well, you must be lying then. You're a fake. You're not as good, because how are you accomplishing it if you need to do all of these things? Something must be wrong and it must be you. It's no longer how difficult the situation it is now. How are you accomplishing it? That means something is wrong with you. Because that's how the enemy works. Once he can't deter you from progressing, he starts to attack your character and try to distract you. Because one thing is for sure and two things are for certain. The victory has already been won, and Jesus has already won it. And so He doesn't want you to go ahead and be able to confirm it and hold on to the victory. And so He distracts you and He starts attacking you. And He was able to attack me then because I was on my own. But once you're in God, anybody and anything fighting against you has to go through the big man first. And you know who's impassable, unbreakable, unmovable, unchangeable, never defeated? His name is Jesus. Mhm. Let me remind you, let not your emotions get the better of you, because it's the enemy trying to push you down, even though, because he already knows that you are doing good. That's the thing, I was doing well. And it was obvious, but the enemy was like, say this so she can feel bad. But God told me just a couple of days ago, see, you were doing well. And you felt terrible when she said that, but you were doing well. And know that you have this discernment because you now know me, then you will continue to do well. But let not your emotions win. So, guys, don't let your emotions win. Don't let the enemy whisper in your ear. Don't let him use those people who look up to you or people who want to look down on you to get to you. Trust that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. All right?